Hey guys, MJ675 here, and even though it's been delayed a week, I am back with the LEGO Inside Tour video. Whether you wanted it or not, here we are. So, in this video, I'm going to be obviously talking about my experience on the LEGO Inside Tour for 2018. For those who care, I was on the first of the year's tours, and that is the standpoint that I will be talking about my experiences from. Keep in mind that if you're going on a tour later this year, some of the stuff might be different if you actually want to watch it and have the whole experience spoiled for you. And if you're going on a tour in the future or have been on a tour in the past, then more than likely this is not going to be exactly the same stuff. But if you did go on the exact same tour as me, then this should be all the same stuff that you experienced, unless we were living in alternate realities, and that may be entirely possible. But before that, I'm going to start the video, so if you don't want to learn about the LEGO Inside Tour for 2018, whether you're going on it or for whatever reason you might not want to learn about it, I will not be talking about the exclusive set in this video. I will just mention it, and that will come out later when I review the set. So if that's the spoiler you're worried about, you don't have to worry about that. But otherwise, if you don't want the experience spoiled, then please leave the video now. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. So without further ado, I'm going to start with actually something that happened before the Inside Tour itself, which was flying to Billund and then checking in and all that stuff, and then we will kind of just go off the official program for the LEGO Inside Tour 2018, which was a handout that we got when we checked in the day before the tour, and we got these fancy folders, and they had a poly bag in them, which I will put the one I got on the screen now. And they had various papers about tourist info and other stuff, and your secrecy form that you need to sign and all that fun stuff. But before I did get there, we did obviously fly through Copenhagen airport, because that is kind of the way you get to Denmark, at least from where I am. Leaving the Copenhagen airport, we did go to the LEGO store at the Copenhagen airport, because they do have a LEGO store there. They also have a LEGO store at the Billund airport, and I will get to that more towards the end of this video. But at the Copenhagen airport, I did get the 2016 homing spider droid set, and that will be on the screen now for you to witness if you've not seen it before. And that was that, and then we flew over to Billund, and then we went to a hotel and checked in and kind of just hung out for the rest of the day. And then, if you don't know this, I did go on the tour with my dad. He's been in some of my videos, like the washing machine video. And after we kind of got to the hotel, we did go to Legoland Billund, put some pictures on the screen of it now. We did walk through the store there. We didn't buy anything, and we just kind of looked through, saw some of the rides and other stuff, including Miniland. And they do have the giant X-Wing there, which I believe I have a picture of that'll be on the screen now if I do. And that was a very cool thing to see, and it was just really cool. I did not get the set that is based off of. It was kind of on my list to maybe grab before the new X-Wing for this year kind of got, and I believe there's pictures of that out now. It's not super confidential or anything anymore. And kind of before I get into the Inside Tour stuff itself, that's another thing that I'm going to kind of warn you about. Based on what we learned at the tour, there is some stuff that I believe I am not allowed to tell you, but there's also some stuff that I am allowed to tell you, and I will be using my own sort of reasoning based on what I have seen I am allowed and not allowed to tell you, and what I think LEGO would like me to keep private. So if you are from LEGO or whatever and you're watching this and you think I said something that I shouldn't have said, please just let me know, and I will figure out a way to make sure that the video does not have that information in it anymore, whether it's taking it down and re-uploading it or whatever. So now we are going to kind of get into the Inside Tour, and for this whole video there are timestamps in the description, so you can skip around to whatever you would like to learn about. We're going to be starting off at the only place where it makes sense to start, at the beginning of the LEGO Inside Tour on Wednesday, and this kind of heading on the program is called the Welcome to the LEGO Group area. So at 9 o'clock in Denmark, we went to the LEGO house, and we went into this room, which they refer to as the LEGO Forum in this handout, which is where we met, I believe, every day. Yes, that is true. Good thing my memories are not deceiving me right now. So we met there, we turned in our secrecy forms, all signed and stuff, and then we built our own minifigures kind of representing ourselves. And that minifigure is going to be in another video that I'm going to be making that's coming out this week. I believe it's coming out, it's going to be the last video that comes out today, I believe, is going to have that figure in it. So once all the videos I'm referencing come out, if they haven't come out already, I'll link them in the description, because I might run out of cards on this video. So moving on from that, we kind of sat down, and then they did give us the 60th anniversary Lego set, and that will be on the screen again for you guys. So that was cool. And then after that, we introduced ourselves to everyone else, and that was fun, especially if you're terrified of speaking in front of decently sized groups of people, like I may or may not be. I'll let you draw your own conclusions based on what I've said so far, if that is true. So we also did get the welcome speech, introduction, and presentation of Lego brand values, which was very, very interesting to see what the Lego group holds dear to their brand and their quality of their products, which I'm happy with. And then we went at 11 o'clock to the Lego Idea House, which kind of gets into the history of the Lego group and all that fun stuff. So now we're going to be moving on to the Billund A Long Line of Lego History section. So at 11:15 we went into the Lego Idea House, and we started guided tours and visits of the archive according to this paper. So the first thing that the group that I was in did was we went to the vault, which there are already many people that have video of the vault, and I have a few pictures I believe that I'll put up on the screen. And I just kind of thought it was a cool experience, you know, just seeing all the old Lego sets, whether it was ones that you grew up with, ones that you didn't grow up with, ones that are really old, or ones that are... We didn't really go to the newer stuff because it's like that was on shelves like what, last year? Do you think that we're gonna spend the little time we have in the vault just looking at the new stuff? So we did look at a lot of the old stuff. There was a lot of different things. We did find some Jack Stone and some Galador in the vault. Very interesting stuff. There was also just a few Clickets in there and a bunch of other stuff. And in case you were wondering about the vault only does include the main shelf sets, and I know this because I did look for my yellow Jetrax T6 in the vault, but they did not have it because it is not included in the kind of range of sets that are in the vault. So that's, I believe I'm allowed to tell you that. I don't think that's too crazy info. But after that, we did do lunch in the reception area, and then we went on the next part, which was kind of just looking at the various history sections of the Lego Idea House. I'll put some pictures up on the screen of some different things that we saw there, including the wooden ducks, the injection molding machine, the original plastic toys that Lego used to make, some old molds, you know, just whatever that I have basically. And I'll just kind of be shuffling through some pictures right now, and that was very interesting, and we got to see all the different stuff that they have there, as well as some of the older Lego sets that are on display in that museum section, and just a bunch of other cool Lego related stuff. So that was a very cool experience, and that, I think that brings us to the end of the A Long Line of Lego History section. Obviously we did learn about the founder of Lego and all that cool stuff, and the various fires that have gone down in the history of the Lego group, and how they would dispose of old molds and other fun stuff like that. But I am now going to take this time to move on to the designing a Lego set section. So this started at what they put on here is 14:15, and I am not very good at military time, but I believe that it's 2:15. So that is when we went to the Lego Innovation House, which is where they design Lego sets, and we did get various presentations by Lego set designers, and I do not know how much of that I'm allowed to share with you, because we did see some stuff that has not come out yet and other various things. One of the things I believe I can tell you about is we did get a presentation about the UCS Y-Wing from the guy who designed the UCS Y-Wing set, and that was very interesting. He talked about how he went about designing such a set and other stuff kind of related to that. It was very cool, and I would tell you more, but I am not allowed to, and I don't think I should. But we did acquire a set there, and I will show that on the screen as well. And from one of the presentations, and that was very cool. So obviously the stuff that we got is going to be just kind of all in one video, and I will talk about those at the end of this video, kind of with the other videos that will be going up around this. So that kind of brings an end to the designer presentations, which was very cool, and I would tell you more about, but I don't actually know what I'm allowed to tell you about. So I'm just going to gloss over most of it. And yeah, so after this, we did get time on our own to explore Legoland or relax in the hotel rooms that you had gotten to stay in. And I spent this time, I think, pretty much all 3 of the days just doing homework, because I had to miss out on school to do this, which I'm glad I got to go on this experience, but I would have enjoyed not missing school. But in the end, it wasn't actually that big of a deal. So just kind of doing some homework, like doing maybe a lesson of math or whatever in between each tour. So after that was the welcome back to the Lego house, where we went back to Lego house, which I assume you already would get by the title of that. And we had the welcome to the evening thing, and we also got to have dinner with various Lego designers. I do not know if I have a picture of this or not, but if I do, I'll put it up on the screen. And we also got to talk in front of an even larger group of people this time, which was also very fun. After dinner, which was interesting, talking to Lego designers about designing Lego and all that fun stuff, we went back to the forum, where we were allowed to design our own Lego set, which included a brief by the Lego designers about kind of what you were designing for. And I will not tell you what the prompt kind of was for designing the Lego set. The interesting thing about that was we were given 2 hours to design a set. So I actually went on 2 different designs. My first design, there are some pictures of how far I got with that on the screen. And the reason that I stopped working on that was because it was getting too big. About a little more than halfway through the build, I ditched that idea, and I just kind of left it on the table for the rest of the 45 minutes that I had. And then I built this other thing, which is on the screen now, which it was like one of those things that it's like you're just kind of walking around. It was like, oh, that piece looks cool, I'll throw that on. And that pretty much lasted for 45 minutes until I ended up with that thing. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wish I had had more time to work on that design, but because I spent the first more than half of the time on the different design, it's just kind of whatever. It was just one of those things where it's like the other thing had such an idea behind it that when you finally finished building you had to describe it on a piece of paper, and you're just looking at it and you're just thinking, I don't even know what this is. How am I supposed to describe it? So what I ended up coming up with was just kind of some random stuff. I just pulled some stuff out of thin air. I was like, well, hope this works. So that was quite a lot of fun. And that is going to conclude Wednesday. So after this, we went back to the hotel and got some sleep. So now we are on to Thursday, which I am moving my paper because that's what I'm using kind of to refer to all this stuff. And we started with the molding of a Lego brick. At 8:45, we went back to the Lego house with the good morning and all that fun in the Lego forum once again, like I mentioned earlier. And before going on anything else, we got a presentation about Lego's Novelty, Engineering, and various other things like how molds work and how the factory kind of works. And there was also an introduction of the factory and all that, and the people who were guiding us through the factory, which I would show you a bunch of cool pictures and videos from the factory, but they wouldn't let us take any, so that was fun. I'm not going to tell you a lot of stuff about the factory besides what I believe to be common knowledge already. The one thing that I will say about the factory is I think it's pretty clear at this point that Lego pieces are injection molded, if it wasn't clear to anyone who's watching this already. So we did get to see the injection molding machines in action, which was very cool, and as something that I had learned about in school and stuff, but had never actually gotten to see. It was cool to get to see an injection molding machine in action, just making Lego parts and all that fun stuff. So I think that does kind of end that section mostly. We did have the guided factory tour, so I think I've kind of covered everything in the molding a Lego brick section. That was probably going to be the shortest section besides the ending section on this. So I think now we're going to move on to what most people who go on the tour think is really cool about the tour, which is the LEGO shopper experience section. And towards the end of this, you'll get to kind of understand why people probably think this is really cool. So the first thing that we did was at 11:40 we went to the LEGO Havremarken, I don't know if I'm saying that right, which is the warehouse tour, and we also had a presentation where we were split up into two groups once again, and we had two presentations in two groups, so that worked out pretty well. So the first presentation that my group got to go on was a presentation which was about some sets that have not been released yet, which I believe some of the images have been put up already. I'm not going to put them here because I don't want to get brick showed to death. And that was that. So some cool stuff that will be coming out, I believe, later this year. So very excited about that, hoping on getting some of those sets when they come out. So very interesting stuff. And then the next tour sort of presentation thing was to the warehouse section of the building, which I don't know if because most people who are probably watching this, buy a decent amount of Lego or have at least some Lego, and Lego's quality control is known for being really good, and on the rare instance that in a set you do have missing or broken pieces, this was kind of what this presentation was about, because the warehouse that I am referencing is the place where they pick, the pick-a-brick shop-at-home orders, I believe, and they also do pick the customer service stuff for, if you have missing or broken parts in a set. So the warehouse presentation was about how they pick orders for Pick-a-Brick online. I think they picked there, and then also for missing and broken parts from Lego sets, which is something that if you buy Lego regularly or have bought Lego is something that you've probably never or rarely experienced. I have experienced some stuff with that a few times, and I could talk about that, but I think I'll save that for a separate video, just because it's not really all that related to this, and this video is already going to be long enough as it is. So the next thing that we did was lunch, and lunch was very cool because we ate food, and that was about it. So after lunch we did have what it refers to on here as fun Lego brick activity, which again I do not believe to be secret enough information to withhold, and what that ended up being was a speed build challenge where we were divided up into groups of 4, and we were given the 70639 set to speed build, which my review of came out last week. I think it's before this the last video that has come out, and that was the set that we got to speed build. As is in my review, I show that it has 2 instruction manuals, so 2 people built one and 2 people built the other. And my group did not win the speed build. However, the way that I did end up with that sealed set is, so obviously to do the speed build you got to open the set, right? So then our group did not win, but the winners group, each one of them got a new sealed one of those sets to keep. And for all the other groups, including that group, the unsealed open set was given to the youngest person in the group. And what ended up happening was I was not the youngest person in the group, so I did not get to keep the set. The person who was the youngest person in our group offered to let me keep the bike that my dad and I had built, and I told him to keep it just because I don't want to screw up my inventory system. And then from the group of people that won, the person that got to have the unsealed version of the set, he has now 2 of these sets, so he goes up to me and says, "Hey, do you want this?" And I was like, "Hey, if you want to give it to me, I'll take it." So that's how I ended up with that, and now I've done a review on that. So thank you for giving me an extra video to make, I guess. One more week of delay on all those reviews, I guess, but good review anyway. So shout out to that guy if he's watching. So cool stuff. So I guess after that we will move on to the bulk of the Lego Shopper Experience section, which is referred to on here as Explore the Lego Employee Shop, which is probably going to be one of the decently lengthed sections of this video. And in case you are going on the tour or whatever, you do get to go to the Lego Employee Shop, at least in my experience. I don't know if they've changed it for your tour or whatever. I don't believe they would have. It's pretty, based on what I've heard of the tour, it's pretty standard stuff. So basically what happens is, in this segment, you go to the Lego employee shop, and for those of you who care or are going on a tour and want the stats of kind of what you can expect, then I will give those to you now. So the way that this kind of works is that they give you a box which is 40 by 50 by 60 centimeters, so you can fit like 2 of the really big sets in it basically, and that's it. So 2 Ghostbuster house towers or whatever, and they can go in that box, and that's about all you can fit in it. And just kind of some more store stuff. The employee discount on the store is 50% off, which I believe has been out on the internet already, so just kind of throwing that out there. And in your box, for those who care, you can only put sealed Lego products. So if you buy kids' clothes that they do have at the employee store, you cannot ship that in your box. You'll have to figure out how to take it with you to wherever you're going. In addition to, if you buy extra sets that cannot fit in your box, you're going to have to figure out how to transport those back to your place of residence with your person and all the other stuff that they give you on the tour, which was enough of a packing problem. Even though my dad and I decided we're just going to fill the boxes, and anything else, it's just like whatever, because the packing was enough of a interesting puzzle already without any extra boxes in it. So the stuff that I got from that will be coming out in the part 3 of the haul videos for the Lego Inside Tour. So if you're interested, watch out for that. That should be going up on Wednesday. First video of the day on Wednesday. So that'll be linked in the description when it comes out. And kind of just the last 2 big things, I guess the last 3 big things is that I'll touch on for the Lego employee store is one that, okay, actually 4 things. So first of all, they do not have Pick-a-Brick at the Lego employee store. Okay, now this is just becoming 5 things, so we'll do 5 things. Alright, so the first of which is that they do not have Pick-a-Brick at the Lego employee store. Big shocker, I know, but in case you're wondering, they do not have it. The second of which is that they do have an entire section basically dedicated to polybags, which make great crack fill in your box. And if you pack Pick-a-Brick cups and you kind of know the philosophy, or the generally accepted philosophy behind how to do it, then crack fill should be a familiar term to you, and it's treated very similarly in this, at least I did in this sort of experiment. So the third thing that I'm going to touch on is that they do have, because it's the employee store, they do have employee workwear there, but you are not allowed to buy it. And kind of going nicely into the 4th thing, right across from that section, which they had roped off when we went, they do have a clearance, quote-unquote, section, which is heavily marked down stuff. So all the stuff already is 50% off the Denmark price of Lego, which if you live in the US like I do, Denmark's prices are a bit higher if you convert them to USD than US prices, but even then the 50% off discount is still going to be less than the regular dollar value of sets. So they do have a heavy clearance section, which is very cool, and I did grab something from that, which I'll leave a mystery until that video comes out. And then the last thing that I'm going to touch on is that they do have a lot of the promotional stuff from the past that has come out. Like, I found some Ninjago pods in there, which I did grab. That's going to kind of conclude the employee shop, and I don't know how much of that I was allowed to say again. But then after that was another time on your own, which for me was homework time. So after that, we did meet at the reception area of the Legoland Hotel. And what we did after that was, for dinner, we went into Legoland Billund, which in Legoland Billund, the park closes at 6 o'clock. So basically, we went to Legoland when there was no one in it, which was very interesting. And we went to the western town part of Legoland, and then we had dinner, which was very interesting, again with the designers of various Lego sets. So cool stuff. And it was very interesting seeing Legoland, which is an amusement park by pretty much the definition of amusement parks, basically entirely vacant except for like one employee that we saw leaving the park when we were walking back to the hotel, which is going to lead nicely into the next thing, which was we went back to the hotel, into the conference wing of the hotel, for the designer's review. And while this may not have a lot of context by itself, this is referring to the design your own Lego set portion from the designing a Lego set kind of section of this video, which was the last thing in that section. So basically what this was is all of your builds from the design your own Lego set part of this are coming back to go on the table and all that fun stuff in there, and then the designers have reviewed it and they have nominated certain sets for awards, and certain sets will get awards, some will just get nominated, and that was quite interesting, just of the various awards that they have chosen. And yeah, I'm not going to reveal a lot of that stuff. I will make a note that the thing that I built, which again is on the screen, that I spent about 45 minutes building, did get nominated for an award. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because I don't know how that would have factored into all the packing stuff, that did not win an award. I mean, it's kind of whatever. It would have been cool to win an award and all, but that's fine. It's totally fine. So that basically, obviously the designers were there, and what would happen was each person that won an award would get the ship in a bottle Lego idea set, as well as some other form of Lego media, and then they would be quote unquote knighted, which was quite interesting, with the giant Lego toothbrush, which I have some pictures of up on the screen now. And then kind of the next thing that happened after that was they said that they wanted everyone to experience the magic of the ship in a bottle set, so everyone got one of those, which was quite interesting. And then after that, it was pretty much just, dessert with whoever wanted to stick around from the Lego designers. Just go back to your hotel room whenever you want, and all that fun stuff. And it was pretty interesting because some dude brought a giant suitcase full of just Galador pieces, and they got one of the tables and they just put Galador stuff on the table, and a bunch of dudes were just playing with Galador. a bunch of people just screwing around with Galador stuff. I didn't take part in it, but it was pretty funny just to see the random things that people were building out of just Galador parts. So after this, this was the end of Thursday, and Friday is pretty short, so I will kind of touch on the traveling back home aspect just to make this video even longer than it needs to be. So Friday, the section is called Your Magic Lego Moments, and at 9 o'clock we went back to the Lego Forum for the good morning and welcome back. Then 10 minutes after, we did go on a guided tour of the Lego house, which is where a lot of the times we met, which is where the Lego Forum is if you missed that part of the video for some reason. So we got to see the Tree of Creativity and the red brick manufacturing machine and all the fun different aspects of the Lego house, including some giant dinosaurs. And I'll just kind of have a slideshow sort of thing going on the screen with different pictures kind of coming in and out of different things that we saw now while we were there. A lot of very cool and interesting builds, and just a lot of good looking builds and stuff. So not really a whole lot to say on that front. I think the pictures explain most of it. So now at this point, it is 11 o'clock, and we are back in the forum for the farewell ceremony. So this was just kind of, what you'd expect from a farewell ceremony. It was just kind of thanks for coming on the tour and some other stuff. And then at the end of the farewell tour, part of the tour, we did get to receive the exclusive set, which I am going to leave a mystery, even though pictures are already out there of it, until my review, which is coming out on Wednesday. Again, put a card and link it if I have enough cards when that comes out. And then that was pretty much it. We did get lunch afterwards, which was really cool, but that was pretty much it for the Lego inside tour aspect. So, and it says at the end, for the rest of the day, you are free to explore the Lego house for the rest of the day. And because me and my dad were traveling back home Saturday, and we had the rest of Friday to just kind of explore and do whatever. So we did start by going back into the paid part of the Lego house, and we did get to take a bit of a closer look at some of the stuff that we had seen on the tour, because it's a tour, it's got to go, and you don't necessarily get to stop and look at everything for insane amounts of time. So we did spend a bit more time in there just looking at the different things that we had seen on the tour and messing around with some of the different things that they have there. And then after that, we did leave the paid part and go to the Lego House Legos store. We did get a few things there. We did get some of the exclusive sets there that you can only get at the Lego House Lego store, and I did get a Pick-a-Brick cup because that was one of the few places that I saw that did Pick-a-Brick cups and had a wide selection of different parts, because there was Pick-a-Brick in the Copenhagen airport, but it was pretty much just 2x4s in just bricks, and it wasn't really pieces that I was interested in. I was like, I'm just gonna wait for other stuff. So we did get some stuff there, and then after that we left and we went back to Legoland. And at Legoland we basically just saw all the rest of Miniland that we did not get to see the day before, and then we went to the Lego store in there, and I got a bag of some Pick-a-Brick stuff. So that's pretty much concluding that. And then afterwards we did go back to the hotel room. I did some homework, whatever. We got to undergo the stress of packing for trying to fly back while maintaining both the weight and the volume aspects of luggage. And if you have traveled on an airline, you probably know that there are some limitations on what you're allowed to bring for carry-ons and check bags and all that fun stuff. So we took care of that, and then we just kind of went to bed like you do. And then Saturday was mostly travel day, and I'm going to skip over most of the travel stuff. But the one thing that I'm not going to skip over from Saturday was that we did fly out of the Billund airport. And if you have ever been to the Billund airport, have ever flown out of the Billund airport, then you might know that there is a Lego store in the Billund airport. And at this Lego store in the Billund airport, they do have a set exclusive to the Billund airport, which is the Billund airport architecture set. It is kind of a miscellaneous set, but it does have the architecture style packaging and stuff, so I'm going to refer to it as an architecture set. And we did pick that up, and we got a couple other things there, and that was very cool. We also did get to see one of our fellow tour people there, and we did get to, just fly a plane and all that. We got to sit in the plane. We didn't fly the plane, unfortunately. That would have ended pretty poorly. But that's kind of going to do it for this video about the Lego Inside Tour. I've been talking for a very long time, so now what I'm going to do is kind of establish what's going to be going on this channel for the rest of this week, which I'm dubbing Lego Inside Tour Week, because that's pretty much all the videos that are going to be going up this week are related to this. So if you're watching this video just as it comes out, then none of the other stuff will be up yet. But in a few hours, I've not decided on the exact schedule yet. Haul number 1 will come out, which is the first part of the haul for the Lego Inside Tour, which is going to be taking a look at pretty much all the stuff that I bought and was given on the tour. Then a couple hours after that, haul part 2 will come out, and that will be an in-depth look at the Pick-a-Brick, and then there was some other stuff that I had bagged that we'll be looking at in that video. And then Monday and Tuesday, no videos, just because I don't want to screw up my upload schedule, even though I'm going to be changing it in a few weeks. But when the update video comes out, I'll talk about that then. And then Wednesday, the first video that's going to be coming out on Wednesday will be the haul part 3 video. A couple hours after that, I will be doing my review of the Lego Inside Tour 2018 kit, which I will not be putting in the thumbnail of the video, so that if you happen to see it, then you will not get spoiled on it if you do not want to. And then a few hours after that, I will be doing a building stream with the stuff from haul part 3, which will be the employee store stuff. And I'll be building some of the duplicate stuff from that, and that will pretty much round out the week. And I am planning on the tour, the building stream. The time for that will be on the screen now, but that'll just kind of be a casual building stream. If you have any questions or any other things about the Inside Tour video or the other videos, this video, anything else relating to the Inside Tour, will just kind of be a casual building stream for a few hours, and ask me questions, and I'll answer what I believe I'm allowed to tell you, and I will not tell you what I believe I'm not allowed to tell you. So that hopefully will be pretty cool. If we can get a few people on there, then that will be awesome. But I will be doing that, and the time and date will be in the screen right now. Make sure that you convert it to your time zone if you're not in the same time zone as me, so that way then we don't have any confusion. I will also be tweeting out when I'm going live for the building stream, and my Twitter is at MJ675. So if you want updates for whenever videos come out or whenever building streams happen, because I'm planning on doing some more building streams in the future, then just follow me there. You'll get all the tweets about when that's coming out and all that fun stuff, because if you just subscribe on YouTube, then you have to click the bell too, and you can do that as well. I'd appreciate that, but if you don't want to do that, then Twitter is definitely a place where you can see all that stuff. So that's going to do it for me for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you are looking forward to some of the other LEGO Inside Tour related content that will be coming out over the next few days of this week, and hopefully you attend the building stream. Do what you want. I'm not here to force you, but that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.